Yes, hello and welcome to the Any Given Sunday Australia podcast, the only podcast that is happy to be up at 4 a.m. to watch games of football. And joining us with the most, as you described, the best dressed podcast that we've ever had at Charlie Pick. How are you, mate?
I don't know if it's best dressed. People might judge the brown on brown, but it's the most overdressed I think anyone's
Overdressed,
been
yeah.
on
I'm
the
rocking
podcast.
my just Packers shirt and you're coming out in full suit and tie.
Yeah, but I'm the one that looks like a tourist here, not you.
Do you have the jacket to go with it? Is it a brown jacket as well?
Yeah, I've got a jacket to go with it over there. I feel like it's funny. I feel like this is an outfit that you might actually see like an elite wide receiver wear getting off the bus to play an away game. So maybe that is the vibe that I'm going for right now. But I'm just I'm at work. I'm doing grown up TV work at the moment. So this is the monkey suit for today.
We're going to have to do entrances one day into the podcast studio where we're all dressed up and...
Yes,
like
absolutely.
Straight off the bus.
I found that the quarterback series on Netflix, I thought was spending time with Joe Burrow choosing his outfits that was an insight into a man's life. I guess we hadn't seen since Cam Newton choosing his outfits back when he was at the Panthers. I always watched Cam Newton choosing his outfits and I was like, this poor man is going to go bankrupt very soon. He's spending too much money on clothes.
I don't know if you realise how much money they get paid.
They do, but, plenty of... Like, Mike Tyson got paid more than all of them and he went broke. And there's a great 30 for 30 doco. You can make NFL money and you can lose it very easily.
Was Mike Tyson, he's cockfighting and stuff, wasn't he? That's probably a bit of an issue, but...
Yeah, just some bad bets.
Let's hope Joey B doesn't get into that. Speaking of making and losing a lot of NFL money, probably still making, the Titans have, we mentioned it the other day, have made their move and cut their coach, which we thought was a bit of a mature decision. That leads into my next question for you, mate, before we start previewing some of the games for this weekend, is who's the next hottest seat in for the coaching fraternity?
I think it's pretty hard to go past Miami and Mike McDaniel. And there's been a whiff over Miami. Even the back half of last year, people were not convinced with how things were going, the regime, his coaching, Tua at quarterback, big questions over the whole organization, particularly the way they fell apart. And you had Tyreek saying he wanted out of Miami at the end of the season and took it back. Well, this week we've got a bit more saying the quiet part out loud and then taking it back, this time from Tua Tagovailoa, who, after their loss to the Chargers in the last round, he said after the game, he said there's problems within the team. And he said there are players not going to meetings or arriving late to meetings. And that got reported and caused a bit of a stir. He has since apologised for that and taken it back and said he made a mistake. Now, that doesn't sound to me like a mistake you would make. That's not a thing you accidentally say, that players weren't showing up. So I think there's an issue that players aren't going to meetings. That sounds real. If Tua said it out loud first, that sounds real to me. But then you've got a bigger problem that they can't get their story straight. Tua's speaking out loud about it. They're not dealing with it in-house. And now he's having to walk it back. So he's obviously getting pressure from somewhere. Possibly the coach is saying to him, hey, man, it's hard enough for me to keep my job. Can you not say that I can't get players to rock up to a meeting? And so I think that the rolling catastrophe of the Miami Dolphins looks like it's fraying even more. It looks like McDaniel is in even less control of that situation than we thought, even in preseason or late last year.
And coming out against they're 1-5 themselves, the 1-5 Browns this week. If they have a bad week, then it could be very, very soon that we see the back of Mike McDaniel.
Yeah, and I think you would have to say that that's a tough game to pick. There have been signs of life from the Dolphins. A few signs of some good play.
Yeah, they lost by 2 or 3 on the week, didn't they? They played pretty well against the Bills a few weeks ago.
They did. They definitely were more competitive than people expected. And so, that game against the Browns could be good. But the Browns have some stuff going on defense. They've got Myles Garrett. They've got, their secondary's playing really well. And at the same time, the offense is okay with Miami, but they're not world beaters. I think there is a chance that the Browns can keep that score pretty low. And then it just comes down to what the Browns can do when they've got the ball. I think we could be looking at a 1-6 Dolphins and the patience of the owners of Miami starting to run out.
Or if not gone already. Because like you said, Mike McDaniel come out and said, Tua just misspoke. It wasn't exactly what he meant. But like you said, you don't accidentally say guys don't turn up to player meetings and we're trying to keep it in-house but it's not really working. Like that's something you either plan to say when you come in or you've said in the heat of the moment that's actually true.
Yeah, and it's not like, we did a walkthrough on Thursday. I was wrong. We did the walkthrough on Friday.
Yeah, that's right.
This is describing a situation that doesn't happen by.
Yeah,
it's
I
not
didn't
even
think they were there, but they were actually there. No, they weren't there.
Yeah, was Charbonnet in the room? Oh, was most no, who's it? Achan? Was Achan in the room? I don't know. Didn't see him. It wasn't that. He was saying we have a problem with people not going to meetings.
Yeah,
pretty specific.
Definitely, I agree with that. The hottest of seat, and if they go down to the Browns, there's every chance that he's gone next week, I reckon. So tough times down in Miami, and yeah, good call by you. But let's get into some games for this week that I've picked for us to preview. The first one is the Wembley game over 12:30 for us on a Sunday morning. For those that have been staying up to watch them, like myself, I stayed up to watch the dismal Denver versus Jets. It makes you very tired for the 4 a.m. game, but, it's the things we do. But this one, I think, has potential to be quite a good game. It's the Rams versus the Jags. The Rams are 3-point favourites, even though you made a very good point about the Jags as we'll talk about this.
Yeah, this is interesting. First off, and I'm going to sound like Danny when I say this, the Jags are up and about. His prediction of them flipping their record for the season, possibly going 14-3, they're on track and they're doing it well. But also, while international games are a bit funky, like you go and play in Germany, you go and play in Dublin, or Sao Paulo, there's a chance that everything's a bit off, someone's jet lagged, the teams sometimes take a bit of time to get going. It feels different. The results can be a bit not what you expected. Great teams can play poorly. All that can happen. Wembley is a different case for Jacksonville. That's their second home. They have played in Wembley a lot. A couple of seasons ago, they stayed and played 2 games in a row, and they took apart the Bills when the Bills went there to play them. I remember in a season where the Jags weren't much chop and the Bills were rolling. Because the Jags were used to Wembley and they weren't jet-lagged, they got it right. And you see a lot of teams that play poorly and afterwards they go, we didn't manage the travel well, we didn't have the right system. But the Jags have done it so many times before, they know what they're doing. So I think that gives them a genuine advantage. They've got a good base of fans there as well. And on the flip side of that, the Rams are coming in. I mean, they are playing great football this year. They are trouble. They are a definite contender. But they are without the best wide receiver in the league this year, and that's Puka Nacua.
Yeah, looks like early reports are he didn't get on the plane because I believe they have a bye afterwards. So giving him that 2-week stint just to get over, I think it was a shoulder. Just throwing that out there. I'm not quite sure. He didn't finish the last game. So, huge. Well, number one wide receiver in the game at the moment. So absolutely enormous for them to be out. I think the Jags are a huge chance. And you make a good point because I feel like I haven't been to one of these games. We need Danny, who has been to one of these games. There'd be a fair bit of media, getting out and doing things with the community before the game. So it's not just a normal week game kind of thing.
No.
And the Jags have got it down pat. They've done it, I reckon, 5-6 years in a row down there. So they know what they're doing there, and it definitely holds them in good stead. So the Jags are dangerous. They did come off a loss this week. I think it was a tightly contested game, but they are rolling and definitely going better than what everyone except for Danny has said.
Yeah. So that -3 for the Rams. If I'm picking it, I'm going to go the Jags. I think the Jags. I think the Jags get there.
Yeah,
I think I don't just bet the spread. I think the Jags can win it.
Yeah, 100%. It's a second home for them at the moment. So if they're ever a chance to knock off the Rams away from Jacksonville, then this is definitely the chance. So it's going to be a good game, though. I think it's going to hold up, and they'll throw the ball around a bit. So both sides. Trev's feeling Trev at the moment, and Matty Stafford's, always Matty Stafford. So I think we've got a cracker, and this will be the best of the international games so far, I reckon.
Yeah, I think absolutely. And yeah, Trevor Lawrence starting to have confidence
Yeah,
that like
back
you said, good
himself.
games and bad games. He's been a swinging pendulum. It feels like he is believing in what he's doing.
Yeah, Travis Hunter's starting to, I think not so much on the defense, but on the offensive side, he's starting to come out of his shell a little bit. So, and they've got weapons. They've got weapons, the Jags. It's, I reckon, good game. High scoring, I'm going to say, just because of that away from home kind of thing. So high scoring, but the Jags will get the job done. The next game, I love this game because I think it's, the line's a bit of an iffy one, and it purely is because the Chargers are at home. Colts over in SoFi against the Chargers. The Chargers rocking their, I think it's a yellow bolt, they're calling it. All yellow, I think a white helmet. It's going to be a very
Wow.
eclectic look.
It's almost like that banana ball baseball stuff going on.
100% the Savannah Bananas coming out.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a great game. Chargers on a 2-game slump, though. Whether they can turn it around is going to be the big question because the Colts are rolling and JT is just absolutely downhill at the moment.
Yeah, the Colts, are they the best team in football right now? I think there is an argument that they are. And the Chargers, a lot of people thought were the best team in football after a few weeks, but a couple of injuries and a couple of disappointing performances. Herbert, great early season form, patchy in the last, hasn't been up to that form lately. I do like the Colts here. And, the way that they're playing, the way that Daniel Jones, Indiana Jones, is playing, he is reliable and consistent. We said earlier in the season when they started to win, it's like, how consistent can he be? Well, he's been playing really tight. The scheme's working for him, and he's sticking to it. He's taking checkdowns. He's not trying to do too much, and he does it knowing that Jonathan Taylor is going to run for 100+ yards, probably a couple of touchdowns. He's going to catch 50 yards worth of passes as well. He knows his safety blanket is as good a safety blanket as there is in the league. We talk about Puka Nacua being the best wide receiver. No one's better than Jonathan Taylor on the ground this year.
Yeah, I did. We mentioned it in the review. I've gone and looked at his stats. He's on track for about 1,700 rushing yards, which is obviously 300 less. They're at a similar point to this point last year, though. Saquon obviously had 2 or 3, 200+ rushing games, which obviously helped. He is ahead of him in the receiving game, though, so he's going to finish about, if they're projected the way it is, about 200, 250 yards ahead in receiving. So he's definitely a dual threat in the backfield, JT. And I did say that the Chargers are coming off 2 losses. They did beat, there was the Dolphins they beat in a tightly contested game. So not one that's good to get the win, but not one you're going to leave with confidence thinking that we've come out with it. It was 29-27. So their defense, which has been on fire at the start of the season, giving up 27 to the Dolphins, who, without Tyreek Hill,
without Tyreek. Yeah.
Probably not a game you're leaving with confidence.
And I think we are absolutely at the point in the season where you have to start being confident about the Colts as opposed to the Chargers. The Chargers, I don't think, are showing us that we can be confident yet in what they're doing. So 1.5, I think the Colts are absolutely taking it.
Yeah, 1.5. It's a pretty much a pick'em game, but yeah,
that's just home ground. That's all that is.
Yeah, home ground, 100%. But the Colts are rolling. I don't know. It feels like one of those. Every year we say you got to pick the Chiefs until they give you a reason not to pick them. It kind of feels like that way about the Colts at the moment.
I think absolutely, and I'm yet until we see them fail, until we see it fall apart. There's no reason to think they will. And of all the teams in the league, probably with the exception of the Bucs, you would say they're the ones that have felt the most complete, the most consistent, the most disciplined, getting the job done. So yeah, absolutely confident in what the Colts are doing.
And they're healthy. The Bucs, which we're about to talk about now, they haven't been healthy, which is one of the reasons why Baker is so loved at the moment, because he's getting the job done with an unhealthy, especially offense. The Colts, I don't think off the top of my head, have many injuries at all. So they're just smooth sailing at the moment. So you got to pick the Colts. You can't go against them until they give us a reason not to. So the Colts over the Chargers, I think we're both in agreement. We need Danny here just to be the bird on the shoulder saying, no, I'll pick the Chargers. But I like the Chargers. I still think they'll
even
turn
Danny
it around.
would have trouble being contrary about this one.
Nah, 100%. I like the Chargers. I think it's going to be a good game. Just hopefully that defense can turn it around, because that's where they're going to win their games. The Bucs, as we just mentioned, going down to the Lions, a 5.5 point favoured Lions only has to be because they are banged up a little bit, the Bucks. We're not sure about, well, Godwin looks like he's not back yet. Evans and Mbuka are possible, but I don't think they'll be back either. Bucky Irving's still out, so they're banged up, but they just keep getting the job done.
They are big names to not be there though on offense. Like, and I believe in Baker Mayfield. Like, I've got faith in what he is doing. It's not flash in the pan stuff like that one game for the Rams when he rolled into town and played 2 days later and won for them. He's consistently been the best quarterback in the NFL, and he's throwing it all over the park, but he's making great decisions. He's tough, and he obviously is the leader of that team. He has the locker room. I have absolute faith in Baker, but just how many of those massive weapons can you take away before even Baker can't win it on the last drive of the game? I think we're at that point where we have to say, are there enough ponies on the park for Baker Mayfield at this stage, as opposed to the Lions, who I suggest would be feeling furious about the way they played against the Chiefs. I reckon they would feel that they missed a big opportunity and they schemed up terribly against the Chiefs. They did not have the right game plan to beat the Chiefs. So I think they will come in really wanting to sort things out.
Yeah, that's definitely one that got away from them. But I kind of put it to you the other day that maybe the Lions aren't quite the Lions. I don't think they have a win against a team with a winning record yet. So the Bucks have a winning record. I don't know about you. 5-1 seems pretty winning to me. So, and it feels like a kind of game for Baker as well, where you almost can't pick them with what he's got out. And that'd just be Baker going, how good is this? Like, no one believes in us. His defense will show up still. Like, I just reckon this could be a Baker Mayfield coming out, even though he's already what he is, but a coming out game with no offense. He's going to have to throw it and catch it himself. And just feels like one that he's going to get the job done still.
So, are you tipping the Bucks to get over the Lions? You're buying the narrative that that they haven't beaten a team with a winning record.
Well, they haven't. They lost to us and they lost to the Chiefs. I went through the other day who they've beaten, and you kind of sit back and go, well, the Ravens are banged up. They beat the Bengals. They beat, they've really beaten nobody of substance yet. Everyone kind of started to buy the candy, but maybe the candy's boiled lollies.
We're rocking our metaphors today. We really are.
I know. I was really going over my head that one going, what am I going to pull out here? And people are going to say it's just because I'm a Packers fan, but we enjoy the Lions football when they're up and about, but I need to see more. And unfortunately, unless they go out, and even then, like the Bucks are banged up. Even if they spank the Bucks this week, you're still going to be. They need to get a win with some substance in it. And unfortunately, right. I don't think this week is the week.
If they beat the Bucks, they still haven't beaten a full strength.
That's right.
Team. Yes, they're beating a team with a winning record, but yeah.
So unfortunately for them, their backs up against the wall regardless.
Yeah. So you're going Bucks?
Yeah, I'm going to pick the Bucks.
I'm going to go the Lions. I reckon it's just too big a hill for Baker to climb, and no one will think any less of Baker Mayfield after this. If he does win, though, the MVP talk is going to be like unbearable for the rest of the year. Like that is, it's all going to be Baker's MVP year talk.
So this is a 10 o'clock Tuesday game for us. So it's a primetime game as well, which Baker loves primetime. So I'm hoping, like I said, I don't think Mbuka's going to be back. I'm not sure about Mike Evans, though. If he can get at least one of his weapons, he's done it with Mbuka the last couple of weeks without Mike Evans, and Godwin's still nowhere to be seen. So he just needs a little flicker of hope, and he'll take, what is it? Give him an inch, he'll take a mile. He'll love it. So
absolutely.
Huge game, 10 o'clock.
We've got a very interesting chat on Tuesday after that game, because this is the only one we really see differently here. We reckon we'll see if the Lions can do it.
We'll see who knows football more.
Yeah.
Some other interesting games, just quickly from your point of view. The Steelers at the Bengals. Now, this is the Thursday night game, Friday for us. Doesn't look like much of a game on paper, but 81 years between the two quarterbacks. Huge.
81 years between the two quarterbacks, but also some bad blood between the teams. Mike Tomlin not happy about the Bengals going and bolstering their quarterback room and was having a whinge about it. It was like one of the first times I've kind of felt like Tomlin was having a whinge.
Yeah, I
And
didn't
he
quite
was just a bit like,
understand
I
it.
don't
Like,
know why in
why
the
do you
division
care?
you do that.
Yeah, I didn't understand why he was going down that path. Like,
Yeah.
realistically, it hasn't affected him besides he's got to scheme up to play him, but strange one.
Well, I think given the age of the quarterbacks, they better have some defibrillators handy. Cardiac arrest can occur at any time.
It,
It's
Steelers
interesting
get the
though.
job done, though. That's 6-1 for a washed Aaron Rodgers.
Yes.
What, 5
It's
and 1?
funny
One,
though,
one
yet
loss.
yet to be impressed watching them though.
Yeah,
So there you go.
I know. I don't know. I don't know what he can do to impress you, though. I feel like you've already made up your mind. He'll win
Yeah, I
the
pretty
Super
much
Bowl, and you'll be like, but it was Patrick Mahomes was down all year. They carried him. Yeah, it was DK Metcalf all the way. Good. I think it'll be a good battle. We always say it. Division games are different. So
yeah.
on paper, I reckon they're about a 6-point head start. Get rid of the line. It is a divisional game. It is a different kind of football. I think it'll actually
And
be quite a good Friday game.
it could be a good fun game. Jamar Chase is playing some great football if he can get a quarterback to throw the ball to him. Maybe he's got that now. The Bengals, though, you have no idea what you're going to get on the day. You just
No,
don't.
absolutely. And the Steelers' defense has been really good. They've been carrying the offense, obviously. So I think it's good battle. Good battle, that one. I think the Steelers will get the job done, but it is at Cincinnati's.
Be interesting. I still think Steelers will get there. What else we got next on the slate? This is a fascinating game.
Yes, and fascinating because of the past couple of weeks. Eagles at the Vikings. Still with the Vikings, we don't know what we're going to get. In Minnesota, we thought the Eagles were going to bounce back last week. Didn't happen. The Vikings still do have a very good defense as well. I think this is a very big game, probably more so for the Eagles. If the Vikings get done, you're still like, well, who are the Vikings? We're not 100% sure. But
Yeah.
if the Eagles get done, there's some very
Reports are that
serious
JJ
questions.
McCarthy's back in at quarterback as well for
Is
this
he?
game. Yeah, that is some of the
Sure.
whispers coming. That's the mail I'm getting out of Minnesota, my
It's
connections in
boots on the ground.
Minnesota. Yeah. But I think that's it. The Vikings defense know what they're doing, and it's the Eagles offense that don't. Like they don't have an offensive identity yet, and I think this is a real problem for the Eagles. I'd take the Vikings here. I do not trust the Eagles yet.
Yeah, which is weird to say. Like, JJ's still very fresh, and like I said, we don't really know what we're going to get from the Vikings, and yet you still trust them more.
It's the Eagles. I think there is just something just really off with the Eagles.
It's got 2023
feels,
vibes where they lost those 6 in a row and just couldn't work out what they were doing.
Yeah, it feels like they're searching. They may well get it together. They've got a lot of talent, but at this stage, they haven't given us a reason to believe in them again.
They're very opposite to the Colts. So
yes,
I honestly don't. I think the Eagles will get the job done, but I've got zero confidence saying that. And you're going the Vikings, which is huge.
I'll take the Vikings. Yeah.
Next one, I love this matchup. Giants versus Broncos. Again, the Giants, you don't know who's going to show up, but you know that Jackson Dart and Cam Scatterbo are just going to be wild. So the Broncos it's in the Broncos in Mile High. So I think they get the job done, but it's another test where you're thinking, well, this is the one that the Broncos should win to just prove that they are the team. But yeah, I'm not 100% sold on them doing that this week.
That's right. And at the same time, it's a test of the Giants. Like, are they legit or are they just like some razzle dazzle occasionally? I think one thing you know about this game, if I was Sean Payton of the Broncos, I'd be scheming that up knowing that Scatterbo's going to get the ball a lot. Like, it's just, like that is what the story of this is going to be. Like, because Daboll, you can tell, knows that his future depends on it. And so I reckon he's going to take plenty of photos with his arms around Jackson Dart and Scatterbo,
violently cuddling him the way he does it too.
Yeah, but I think the Broncos are good.
They should, but you just never know with this young, running back. I feel like we're unlucky that Neighbours is out for the season. It could have really been something special with those three.
I think so. But that fact alone may help Dayball as we go. I'm getting a knock on the door that I have to go film some television. So just very quickly, Falcons. The Falcons are better than everyone thought they are, and not just because they beat the Bills. You watch how they did it. Their defense is no joke, and you've got a banged-up 49ers. Is it Warner? No, Warner on...
Yeah, Warner's gone for the season. He's done.
Warner's gone for the season. The Mac Jones roller coaster is going to roll on, but I think the Falcons take it. But I got to go. I got to go.
It is perfect, mate. It's good work for joining us in your busy time. And it's time for our First Down Friday anyway, mate. So we'll see you next week. And good luck to the Bills against the bye.
Yeah. This year, they could find a way to lose it.
Yeah.
See you next week.
See you next week, mate. It is time for the First Down Friday, brought to us by our good friends at Unibet. Doing it by myself because Danny's decided to ship off as he does. Danny is still winning the First Down Friday, our bowl challenge, 2-1. So I'm just going to quickly give you one. It is his week. I'm going to give you a bet that I like, but we'll put up on the socials his bet. We've got the Bengals versus the Bengals and the Steelers. Aaron Rodgers plus 175 yards. Jamar Chase versus DK Metcalf. I like that matchup. 60 yards for Chase, 50 yards for DK Metcalf. And Jalen Warren rushing for 30 yards, $2.75. That's just a nice one to get you into the weekend. We will put up Danny's bet on the socials, but get around us. Make sure you hit us up for our Unibet link. Good luck punting, guys, and we'll see you next week.